Okay, so now let's get on to the gaming side of stuff. The first game that I play a lot is Delta Force, and we'll do a little settings and seeing how many frames we roughly get in that game. So if you don't know, Delta Force is a first-person shooter. So let's load the game up. I'm just going to show you the profile I'm in. I'm in the 17 watt preset. This time I'm on battery, so you can see the exact battery wattage that's being pulled from the device. That'll give you a rough estimate of how long it's gonna last, given that this is an 80 watt hour battery in here. So with this game, I'll do two examples because the performance varies between the two different game modes. One's Team Deathmatch, which is typical COD style 6v6, smaller maps. The other one is like an all-out attack and defend, which is more of a, I think it's a pretty large map. I don't know how many players exactly, but it's like Battlefield style maps. So I'm going to be testing Warfare. There's also Operations. I don't have these downloaded. These are more like extraction, but let's go into Warfare. So I'm just going to go into the settings to really quickly show you. So the graphics, I have the display at, why is it showing in, there we go. I'm going to be playing at 900p. It's a sweet spot for shooters for me. I have, you know what? We'll just go unlimited to kind of show you. And then sharpness is at 66%, and then my graphics are pretty much medium, with scene detail to high, and everything else medium. Textures ultra, again everything else, and then I have FSR 2.0 running on performance mode, and that's typically how I play it. Okay. So, yeah. First I'll do TDM. So we can see roughly on screen that we're pulling about 24 watts. It's a little blurry because I dropped the resolution down for the screen, and it's because I have it to duplicate. It's also duplicating up there, so it'll look a little hazy, but on the screen it looks sharp. I don't know how well this will tell you, but the screen on it looks sharp. Okay, so we're in game, and we can see we're hovering in the 90s to 100s for the frame rate. Now this game doesn't have frame gen, so whatever you see what you get. And you can see that the power consumption is about 38 to 40 watts on an 80 watt hour battery. That gives you roughly 2 hours of gameplay. Oh, it's hiding over there. There's a guy prone over here. We can see that the temperatures are hovering around the 65s. CPU frequency is actually very low. 2.6 gigahertz to 3 gigahertz. My other device that I have, the Legion Go S, when I play games on it, it typically hovers around 3.2 gigahertz. Well, you can see I'm not the greatest at this game. I typically play keyboard and mouse, so yeah. Oh my god, I just missed. No. And I'm gonna bring the device up to the microphone to see roughly how loud it is, so. The microphone actually doesn't even pick it up. So yeah, now we can see the power consumption has settled down around 30 watts instead of the 38 we were seeing. So you get a little over little over 2 hours playing this game like this wattage. Now I'm gonna do for an experiment is I'm gonna cap the frame rate to 60 to bring the power down, and then so we see instead of 30 we're now hovering around the 29 or so. Well, we're still seeing 30. So honestly it might be better to just play at the uncapped because there's very little difference. You can see the CPU portion boosting higher now though. And then we'll do a last one where we just do all low. You're not gonna let me live. Anyway, let's go test all low. I'm gonna do all low with textures high because we kind of can. Ultra textures. That should be it. And let me get rid of the frame cap. So we're almost near the refresh rate of the screen at 120 hertz, which is really good. We're in the hundreds, 110. This is kind of what my Xbox Series X gets in terms of frame rate in this game, which is really impressive playing on a handheld. And we're still at that 30-watt power consumption. You could tinker with the custom power modes and optimize it, but the battery is big enough in this where I don't think you kind of need it. You can just get away with it. I think that's my first kill. Almost had him. Where did he pop up from? if I'm being honest, playing on all low versus the settings I had before, I can't tell the difference. The textures is the biggest difference I can tell. So it might be the best way of playing with everything low and textures just cranked to ultra. I'm just gonna leave this game. And then we'll go into the... We'll go to the other game mode.
Father, I'm sorry that we must part ways again. When I was last on the front lines, I experienced the same trauma that war brought to you, and I started to understand your concerns. But if we continue to remain silent and allow havoc to develop weapons of great destruction, everything we cherish...
Allied troops engaging at objective Alpha.
So the settings are all still low, and we're still getting 80 to 90 frames per second playing this like this. Granted, we're pulling a little bit more power. We're 33, 32, but I think you'd still break the 2 hours playing this like in this configuration.
Our job is to dismantle it and secure peace.
Yeah, so we're back to the 30 watts, and we're hovering in the 90 frames per second category, or 90 frames per second, which is incredibly playable. And they're sniping me from all the way there. Medic, you gonna revive me? You're like right there. Disrespectful. Oh, he took it. Let's join this person.
Allied troops launching an assault on objective Bravo.
That's a breakdown of this game. Pretty much very playable, but now the frame rate dipped a little bit. We're in the 60s, but there we go. We're back to 90. So it's perfectly playable, and as you can see on the screen, the visuals look stunning for a phone game, not a phone game, a full desktop game on a handheld.